So, shout out to everyone in the comments. Um, let's talk about how trauma makes you impulsive. Like when you're under a lot of pressure or a lot of trauma, you do things out of impulse. There's no thinking. And the reason being, you are not regulating. So you are going through what you can call a chronic dysregulation. So since you cannot regulate your emotions or your feelings in a good way, anything that is chronic is something that is out of sync. So this causes you to be on what you can call autopilot. So when a lot of people are undergoing through trauma, we can say that they are on autopilot. What do I mean? So when you're not autopilot, for example, when a plane is in the sky and the pilots want to rest or just put the plane on auto to fly itself because there's nothing else to do. I mean, for the next 8 hours, you're not expecting anything if the weather is okay, so you have to put the plane on autopilot. And the reason is because the pilot does not want to be uncomfortable, tired. So when it comes to trauma, a lot of you are acting out of impulse because you allow your days to be on autopilot. You don't want to feel uncomfortable about what is coming towards you, or you don't want to feel uncomfortable into facing your reality. You don't want to be uncomfortable with the painful emotions, okay? Because you know at the end of this, you still be even more ashamed. You are still even going to be more of what you can call, you'll even feel weaker. Like if something is added onto that, it makes you even feel like, oh, I didn't even cope with this. So you go onto autopilot and you start to self-soothe. So you'll jump into food. And before I continue, shout out to everyone in the comments. We are back. TikTok gave us a 48 hours ban. So remember the other day we went too deep on that bridge collapsing thing. So the algorithm could not allow that. So you were given a 48 hours ban, but we are back. So now, let's say, because this is a normal way of life for everyone, that you're addicted to shopping, okay? Eating, drinking. But you're doing these things to the point where by now they are becoming an issue to you. But the key point is that you are missing a trigger. Because there's something that is triggering you to get up and go to the shop. There's something that is triggering you to get up and reach for that drink. There's something that is triggering you to eat excessively. So you are not aware of the triggers that are sending you, okay, towards that. But whatever you are going into and overdoing it is not a bad thing because it's a coping mechanism. So when you are reaching for your drink, you are coping for something, okay? And it's important that you spot the triggers because remember when you were growing up, based on your emotional immature parents, you didn't know or you didn't learn how to cope. So your coping mechanism becomes your safety net. And we have many things that we can run into. And the reason you're even coping is because you are feeling unsafe. So whatever you are going through, you are feeling unsafe. So you're going to reach for a drink as a coping mechanism because that is going to make you feel safe. Because once you are drunk, you'll not think about that thing until the next day. So what you are doing in that coping, in that reaching for that thing, is actually self-compassion. You are feeling sorry for yourself because there's no one around you to step in, offer you a shoulder to lean on and things like that. So your coping mechanism is also not wrong because it's self-compassion. You are trying to empower yourself with that drink. You are trying to empower yourself with that eating. So before we judge everything, let's first of all look at the reasons that are leading you to that behavior, or the things that are leading you into that chronic dysregulation of your emotions. Let's look at why you are jumping into those impulsive behaviors where you wake up the next day, you wake up in a stranger's bed. And and when you are confessing, you're like, to be really honest, I don't know what got to me. Like, you're confessing you've been going to clubs with the hope of a man picking you up and spending a night in a man that you don't know. So we don't have a problem with that. And it's a high time, because when I tell you, when you come to this page, we don't like pondering. In this page, we lay everything on the table so that now you can understand where all these things are coming from, so that now you can heal. Okay? The reason you are bed hopping, going to clubs, is because you are feeling unsafe in your own bed. So you are coping. You're on autopilot. It's a coping mechanism. And this coping mechanism is out of self-compassion, because we are a community, or a people who we don't even know how to show compassion to anyone. Even when someone is dead, we don't know how to show compassion. An example is how you buried that boy. You may have pretended you are doing it out of compassion, but you don't even know how to show compassion. Sometimes compassion is not showing up. Sometimes compassion is not saying anything because you are feeling the pain. Okay? And you should be adults now who are able to make new choices. So, because we have been saying this, you are brought up by parents who never taught you what you call boundaries. It was okay for you to overrun other people's boundaries. Like, think about it like this. If it was you, let's say it was someone who was in your family who lost their life, would you be comfortable if people just came to your place in cars and droves, and these are people that you don't know and they are stepping on your shamba? And would you do that? No. That would be very uncomfortable for you, because that is people overstepping your boundaries. But we are a community that does not understand what it means to have boundaries. You have been raised by parents who asubuhi they were comfortable, wanakuja na kufunua blanketi na kuambia uamuke. That is lack of boundaries. Hata kama wewe ni mtoto, wanafaa kuite asubuhi uende shule. Plus haiku inafaa ifike huko. If you are raised by mature parents, emotionally, people who can regulate their emotions, people who can apologize to you when they do you wrong, then that will not happen. So wishes don't work, but I wish more people talked about how trauma makes you impulsive. Mamako akikuja kufunua kama umelala, ukira wa Yesu kula na kunyang'anya blanketi, it's her trauma. She was acting out of impulse. She didn't even know why she was anakufunua. Okay? So we cannot cope with uncomfortable feelings. So we jump into things. Uncomfortable feelings are too much for us. So we start drinking. We start jumping into relationships. One night stands. We start saying yes to things without even thinking what you are saying yes to. But you're doing this just to feel better. You're willing to be picked by any man just to feel better. Quick. It's a quick fix. Remember what I said, that you're doing this out of self-compassion. But after that, that makes you even feel worse than how you are feeling the first time. You see, most of course, the people who come to me, either for consultation or when you come to the DM, you don't come to me to laugh. You come to me with a lot of the things that are happening to you. So somebody will come and confess and tell me, I have a problem that every time I'm feeling low, I dress, I go to Quivers, I order a soda, and I wait for any man to just come and pick me up. Because that is the only way I feel like I'm worthy. Like if a man comes and pick me up, I feel some self of worthiness, like I'm worth something. But the thing is that the next day, or when they are calling, they tell me that they are feeling so bad, they are feeling so filthy, they feel like they even want to like take their own lives. Okay? So I wish more and more people having these kind of conversations about trauma, because trauma makes you do things without thinking. Because you cannot cope with how uncomfortable we are feeling with the situations around you, all the way to your fathers bringing fights to your home, okay, and your parents. And this is because for the longest time, there's no regulations of emotions, okay? We are all on autopilots as a country. And every day, these things are proved with, let me see, no comment. So every day, these things are proved with how, as a collective, remember what I keep saying. No, don't text me now. Come on now. Don't text me now. When you observe yourself as a country now, the things that you are doing as a collective, I keep telling you, do social experiments. Observe how, as a collective, you do things, whether it's in public, as a mob, whether it's on social media, ganging up on anyone. We have a country that is highly, a country that highly doesn't know how to regulate their emotions. Even when it comes to showing compassion, you don't know how to show compassion. You do not flock to somebody's homesteads in thousands and think that is compassion. No, that is showing you that as a collective, you lack emotional intelligence. Let me put the phone here. So that is showing you that as a collective, you lack emotional intelligence, aka you do not know or care about boundaries. People have boundaries. When you have old people chasing you out of their compound, tokeni hapa, wachani kanyanga kaburi, wachani kojoa huku, wewe, itashosh na huku, you are already doing double the pain to that family. You are not helping those people. Those people are the one who are grieving, not you. You are the online family. It has got nothing to do with the immediate family. You are online. So the real people who are feeling the pain, regardless of how it was, that's their family. Those are the people who should be allowed to mourn. So the big picture that you're getting out of that is that though your intentions were good, in quotes, your lack of emotional maturity, your lack of understanding and respecting people's boundaries is what caused all that. And this comes from self-soothing. And unless people get to a position whereby you start working on your traumas, your childhood traumas, and you start healing from them, then this thing will continue haunting you. You are going to be reincarnated into the same thing. You are going to bring your children up into the same trauma. And another 400 years are going to pass whereby the African person will still be crying victim. Because you are failing to realize that whatever you are fighting is not a physical war, it's spiritual, it's mental. It's your thoughts and feelings. The thoughts and feelings you spend most of your time in, bending on themselves to become the reality that you're surrounded in, that becomes the physical presentation. The physical presentation of where you live and the things you do is what happened first in the mind, in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. You are what you think. You are what you eat. You are what you consume. So take a moment now and observe yourself. Observe your surroundings. Remember that you are a solo person, single. That is why you are fearfully and wonderfully made. It says so in your book. No one is like you. So observe yourself. Do some self-regulation on yourself first. Heal thyself first before you step out of the house and attempt any healing on people external or outside of you. Regulate your emotions first. Start with your own emotional state. Regulate your own emotions before you step out there. Learn boundaries. Okay? You cannot even practice compassion if you don't have any rules about your boundaries. And like I said, these things stem from your parents. Your parents would come and just remove the covers from you when you're sleeping. Your parents they were emotionally immature to help you in any way, shape, or form. They also didn't know better because their parents didn't know better. So we are repeating the same generational curses. And we cannot sweep these things under the rug. Because through epigenetics, our children become who we are, not what we say. They observe us. So if you have no boundaries when you are raising them, you are teaching them to allow even anyone to walk all over them even when they go out there. So your children will have no respect. See, my daughter is only 8 years old. I knock on her bedroom door. Not because there is anything, but I knock and I ask her, can I come in? She's like, yeah, I'm reading a book, come in. And I go in and I sit and we talk. Why? Because I'm showing her that there's boundaries that should not be crossed. So as she grows up, she'll be like, I have my personal space that people should respect. And those are the small things that we miss and we assume, but it is the small things that become the big things. It is the small things that affect your adulthood. Your adulthood, the person you are today, 90% of who you are today, unless you have been working on yourself and healing, then it is directly proportional to your upbringing. How you are raised as a child is who you are now as an adult. So you are an adult, but if you are traumatized as a child, you are an adult who's still very traumatized from the childhood, and you need to address that. And there's no amount of escapism or you trying to jump into self-soothing that's gonna solve that for you. At the end of the day, you'll have to be like Michael Jackson. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. At the end of the day, it will be you and the mirror, the reflection staring back at you, and you working on yourself. I'm not going to be there. I can remind you, your mother, your brother, your spouse, if you're lucky. But everyone, this is an individual journey. That is even why your Bible tells you that every knee shall bow. It does not talk about this kind of knee physically. It's an allegory that every one of you have to do a self-reflection, go within, and find out the real you. Because unless you find out the real you, the fake persona that you keep pushing out there, at the end of the day, it will crumble and fall like a house of cards. You are going to experience what you call your tower moment. And when you experience your tower moment, again, you'll be alone experiencing that. Every time you are going through trials and tribulations, you know that you're always alone. That is why you say, why have my friends abandoned me? But even the friends that you have created around you are not on the same path with you. They are not on the same path of healing or becoming the better version of yourself. And this is also another thing why when you start working on yourself, when you start becoming a better version of yourself, whether you going back to school or whatever thing you are doing, that is why you also find yourself alone. Even when it comes to asking for help from people, whenever you ask for help, the people you're asking for help, they know that the moment they help you, you are going to become better. So subconsciously, you are reminding them that you are working on you becoming better, whether it's improving your business, whatever. So they feel. Remember, the spirit likes what you can call train wrecks scenarios. It's like the spirit loves enjoying to see people suffer. So people will deny you a shoulder to lean on. People will deny you help. Not because they can't help you, but because you are reminding them indirectly that you are working on yourself. And they wouldn't want you to work on yourself to become better because they themselves are not working on themselves. So this is also why a lot of people always find that they push alone in life. Like a lot of the people who become something, when you listen to their story, it is always like they had to do it themselves. Whether there was family and other people, at the end of the day, it's like they really had to do it for themselves. Like they really had to sacrifice everything to pull themselves out of that rut that they were in, which is a good thing also, because also we have people who, the moment they help you, they have to let everybody know that they have helped you. But there's nothing wrong with getting help from people. But understand that this is a solo journey when it comes to becoming the best version of yourself. It's the new year. We are in spring. Time to plant good seeds. New habits, new skill sets, new ways of thinking and relating, new ways of connecting. When the kitchen becomes too stuffy, you open the window. Sometimes God can close the windows so that you move away from that kitchen and bigger. Maybe go into a bigger kitchen. Or maybe you're no longer allowed to be cooking for the other people. So they are going to close the windows so that it gets too hot for you. And you are reminded that it's just time now to sit down and have a chef or have dinner served. You've been cooking long enough for those children in the school dormitory. It's about time now you sit down and you can have dinner served to you. Allegorically speaking, we are in a time where we have too many conjunctions. We have too many oppositions happening above, as above so below. So we are going through a phase where we have too many conjunctions, too many squares happening in the sky. So this means that even before you see where you intend to go, you already have too many planets in conjunctions coming closer together, so amplifying each other's energy, or too many squares, meaning you cannot see the destination you are going to. So we are being tried, esoterically speaking. So this is the time when you are parting the Red Sea and the Blue Sea. And these people, they practice these rituals physically. You know, you have ships having accidents with bridges. In the Bible, we talk about splitting the Red Sea. Na vitu kama hizo. Let me talk about that. That is why I was banned for 48 hours from TikTok, because I mentioned those things. The algorithm has been busy. So yeah, so understand that you are going through a lot of oppositions in the skies, a lot of squares in the sky. So this means you are going to be tested and tried in so many ways, shapes and sizes. But as long as you know now you can overcome that and you can become the best version of yourself. So this was a quick one. Nowadays, we don't need to be here for long videos over 1 hour. Okay. So let me see if there was a question of anything. Shout out to everyone in the comments. The comments are quiet. The chat room is quiet. So that means people are not saying anything. I have gone through parentification at a very young age. Shout out to you for recognizing that. Don't repeat it to your children. Shout out to Adan Mohammed. How do you work on childhood traumas? That's a question that deserves consultation. That's not the live. For that one, maybe you can, sometimes attachment issues arise as well. So yeah, so there's no comments, there's no question. So I can end the live. See, there's no question. So understand that those trauma bondings that you are jumping into out of impulse, you are doing it because you are looking for a safety net. And the moment you realize that, and realize that after those things you feel worse than before, then you can change that. So you don't have to feel, because you need to be your biggest fan. Because if no one is for you, if you are not for yourself, you yourself, then who's going to be for you? If you're not your biggest cheerleader, who's going to cheerlead for you? Get where I'm going with this? So heal so that you can become your own biggest cheerleader and you stop doing things out of impulse. That's my Lucifer now. Do have a beautiful, why do I feel guilty if I spend money on myself? You have money blockages. You have been taught that money is scarce. So money blockages, you have been taught that money is scarce. So meaning growing up, your parents might have been showed you, or you grew up maybe in an environment where money was always mentioned. You know, there's not enough money. Unajua pesa ni ngumu kupata. You know, this kind of, most probably in your family, you used your soap until your soap was this size. Most probably in your family, mulikuwa unafinya dawa ya meno mpaka unakata pale nyuma, unakata dawa ya meno pale nyuma, unatumia the last remaining things. Most probably in your family, you used to squeeze the toothpaste tube so bad. Most probably in your family, and I'm speaking this for the collective, not just you, rangi ya viatu ungechapwa, kuna venye rangi ya viatu ilikuwa inaguzwa isiishe. Most probably you are not even the kind of person who can go to a shoe shine and sit down and pay to have your shoes shined, because utasema utapakia kiatu yako nyumbani. So a lot of these things come from how you are raised, and our stories with money, the stories that you have around money. Okay, yeah. So also, how do you feel about yourself? Do you feel like you are worthy enough to be enjoying the good things in life? Because if you don't feel worthy enough, you are not even going to feel like you can spend or buy anything good on yourself. Okay, I was told getting money was as painful as pulling out nose hairs. See, I was right. So it depends on the kind of environment you grew up in. So it becomes painful. I'm very sure if you are like even to come up here and like, request and talk about your story, most probably hata ukulangi matunda wewe. You are the kind of person, even fruits, for you to find fruits in your house is like, unless now you are working on yourself and you're changing that, but you'd find that you're even someone who will not even buy fruits because fruits were unheard of. Buying fruits in your home was a waste of money. Unaona? So those kind of, and sometimes when I talk about these things, I talk of personal experiences. Okay, you see someone like Munjiro, she was raised up, her mother raised her in a way where they never lacked like when she used to go anywhere, they would park, ukitoka kwa nyumba unapakiwa, ukienda. So that kind of lifestyle, I never saw that. So we would have even fruits. Even now, fruits would be running out. Like, Monjero would be like, mono jakula matunda na huku kulikuwa na matunda. Because it's not in me to eat fruits. Like, they will even go bad. I'm feeling like, for example, there's always oranges in the house. Like, this orange. Like, even when I pick the orange in the mornings, I was like, I don't even eat oranges in this house. Because I never grew up around fruits. Because we were taught fruits were expensive. And so this is one of the traumas that I have to overcome even now as a grown-up, whereby it feels odd. Like, I will even complain, kwa nini umenunua apples mingi hivyo? Kwa nini unanunua dragon fruit? Unanunua fruit moja 300. No, like, but I have come to understand that it's trauma. It's how you are raised, like, and it takes time. And overcoming trauma or healing doesn't even end overnight. You may actually go to the grave while still healing. Healing has no end. You become better every day. But you're going to find these triggers in so many things to the point to be like, fuck, even that one was a trauma, man. I didn't even know why I was like that. So this is the reason why utasikia mtu ako na gari na ameangushwa na nduthi. Na ameacha gari parking, but kuna kitu inamsumbua, and I feel like he's not worthy to be driving where he's going. He'd rather take a motorbike. Alafu inamuangusha. Alafu unaanza kusema na noyo na nyuma na gari unanegwesire thina. It's trauma. It's coping mechanism. It's doing things out of impulse without thinking, which is safer, my car or the bodaboda. Because huyu jamaa anakubeba na bodaboda hata umjui. Ujui hata kama alienda shule, ujui hata kama amekunywa, ujui hata amefuatwa na maneno gani. You get what I'm saying? Also, where are you going? What is your intention? It's the same reason onanga mtu amebebewa TV, amenunua TV 60,000 ama 50,000, call it even 20,000. Umenunua TV ya 20,000, but umebebwa na nduthi, umeishikilia. Na Uber is 500 shillings. Ukae hapa mbele, TV yako ikae hapa nyuma. Call it even 1,000. Sema umebebwa na kutoka Tao mpaka Githurai na 1,000, ni Uber, Bolt, whatever. TV yako safely pale, na wewe hapa. Sasa umeshikilia TV, Thika Road, umebebwa na motorbike, umesweat cause unajua umeshika tight. It's trauma. You have to know it's trauma. It's so deep. You have a big TV, you buy, you put it on a motorbike. It's trauma. It's so big. You are doing things out of impulse without thinking. Because it makes you feel safe to protect this TV you have bought. Because someone growing up told you, you are nothing. You are not meant to be anything. Hauna akili. You grew up around your father telling you, hauna akili. Mamako hana akili. Without me, you are nothing. So you believe that. You start agreeing to those terms and conditions. To the point when you are grown up now, we can see these things. So ukiona mtu amebebewa TV na motorbike, unaanza kusema, yani unanunua TV ya 40,000 baada uweke kwa Uber. Understand, ni trauma inamsumbua. Sayan amesema, I buy fruits but they go bad. Yes, you buy the fruit but you cannot even eat them. It's how you are raised. You feel pain. You have a car but you can't drive it. It's the same thing. It's trauma. You have to dig deep. Okay? You have to dig deep. You have to... These things, they are so deep. Like, unless someone now takes you through them to see them, you can't see them. You have clothes you don't wear because you are saving them for a particular day that never comes, because you never even be confident enough to wear that thing. You have a dinner dress, you'll never wear it because there's never even going to be a day where you'll feel like you are worthy to go for dinner. I mean, your parents, in your cupboard, you had vitu za wageni. Those plates, those cups, they were reserved for guests. But the only guest in your house was the blue picture in the wall behind you. Christ is the head of this house. The unseen guest at every meal. Every family had that stupid poster. So ulikuwa unashindwa wageni watatoka wapi? And your father was so abusive, you didn't even have visitors come to visit. So I'm very sure most of you, kuna vikombe hujai kunywa chai na vijiko in your own mom's house. There's cups you never touched all your life. Hakuna siku ulitumia kikombe na nini. So you never felt special. In our house, there's nothing like special. We can wake up any day, sit for breakfast, and we take out the best plates. Wageni wangani wengine wako kwa hiyo nyumba. It is us. Evenings, we switch off the lights, we light candles and have dinner and pour wine for everybody in the house. Even the 8-year-old will have wine. The way it's supposed to be. Because it's us. Because we are not waiting for anyone to come and live this life. Okay? You crave and you buy fruits, but you never eat them. Yes. Toothpaste and kiwi. Yes. It's trauma. Okay? But you should be in a position whereby today is my favorite day. God made it special for me. I like my day. Like, you know, those songs, like children's songs have so much wisdom if you listen to them. Today is my favorite day. I live my life like God gave it special for me. Like, if you want to, that is why they say that let the children come to God. If you want to hack this life, observe children. Listen to children's songs. They will wake you up. Stop. And this is not next time I'm going to say stop. Stop accepting generational curses that you have no idea even how they were set up. Start treating yourself like you're the best thing in this world, because you're the best thing that has ever happened. Okay? Shopping makes you feel guilty. You have the fear of money running out of you. That fear, you didn't learn it from yourself. It was taught to you. Okay? I'll spend money to the last dime. For example, I have no money blockages. I'll spend money. If I want something, if I want anything, I'll spend to the last dime. And I'll be comfortable and I'll not be anxious and I'll not be... Because I live my day at the moment. This moment that I'm here. The next hour is not promised. I can make plans, but that doesn't bother me because the future does not exist. The past does not exist. What exists is the now, the present moment, the one that I'm living in. So when I'm going to sit down for breakfast, we sit down and have breakfast exorbitantly. What do you want? Brown cheese, let a brown cheese. Nyamburu wataka nini? Goat cheese, let a goat cheese. Awa upakiwe nini? Would you want some homemade butter? Apana staki. Would you like some black tea or white? There's even varieties before breakfast is made. Black tea or white tea, you have a choice. Black tea. Me, I'll have coffee. It's okay. You get what I'm saying? So, because these blockages are stopping you from living your life. And you're living your life like a better day is coming to live your life tomorrow. And there's no better day. The life that you are living is today. Hodan, I think I saw Hodan on my lives. I don't know if Hodan is still there on my live. So Hodan Mohammed, she's an NLP. She's a business coach. Okay? She mentored me. So I don't know if she was in that live. I don't know if she's still on the live. So when you go and have a consultation with Hodan, she'll ask you to give her your money stories. And most of African money stories are lack, never enough, scarce. And when you're in that scarcity mindset, you are always on that fight or flight. Fight to get that money or flight, run away because you can't be in that position. My father has only been to a shopping mall once. The Nakumat Junction shopping mall. So he would always say, hey, nyona makalima pa kitoko. This someone who's working, nyona makalima pa kitoko. And because then I used to work at the junction, the Nakuma Junction. When I used to drive a car before the junction too, was used to be at that Uja Shell petrol station when the freelancers, before even the applications, Asimu Zikuje, those taxis, we used to be there before. Mi hata sikubeba na app. When Uber came, I was already on other things. I had already gone back to school, graduated. I was always doing other things. I took myself to college. So I would listen to my father speak. And I realized the reason he cannot go to the shopping mall is not because he doesn't have the money. It's because he has a scarcity mindset where he's intimidated to be around people or anything that looks like money. So he has this mindset of things are expensive there. Well, I did the complete opposite. When the hub in Karen opened up, I would go to that shopping mall every day. Because that is also the other time when in my awakening journey, I was really now like, could see what things were happening. So I was also going through my healing my traumas and everything. And I would feel good going to shopping. I would throw like 40K in cash, hold it in a bunch, so that vitu zikilipwa pale nikianza kulipa, I open my cash and pluck out the cash because it would feel good to do that. You know what I'm saying? It would feel good to do that. So understand that a lot of your traumas are not actually bad things. They are coming from you trying to self-soothe yourself. They are coming from you trying to feel safe. But the moment you realize that and now you point them out, now you can work on them. Now you can start eating those fruits without feeling guilty. Now you can not panic ukiona light moja umesahau kuzima. For example, up until now, the first thing I would do when I open the gate for myself nikienda home, if I notice all the lights are on, from the sitting room to the pantry, to the kitchen, to the guest bathroom, to Nyambura's bathroom, to her room, all the lights are on. As I'm going to park, my bedroom light is on. And the first thing that I do when I walk into the house, before anyone says hi to me, naenda kama nimewapita wote. Naenda kuzima stima. Pa! Naambia nikimu mtidamo watiti elitima okurumu siyote. And then I realized that I have never not paid. Sijai kosa kukuwa na stima. So it's not that I can't afford. So I had to make peace with that. Like, this is trauma. And then I realized that our father used to beat us for leaving the lights on. So I realized, wait, this is something I need to heal from. I should not actually be complaining about the lights. I should be making much more money, so I'm not worried about lights being left on. Because I know compounds that have garden lights na hazizimangwi na wanalipa hiyo bill. So the problem is not the lights. The problem is me healing. You see, what you are calling wastage and trauma. You see what you are calling wastage. There's a thin line between wastage and trauma. No, that's trauma. There's nothing like thin line between wastage. Who said it's a waste? Who said it's a waste? Who came up with that? Yet when you walk to any government building, stima zizimangwi the whole day. Walk into a bank, stima zizimwi. Walk into a supermarket, stima zizimwi day and night. Who said it's wastage? Nani alikuambia ni wastage wewe? Especially with these apartments zenye hazinanga hata dirisha. So nani alikuambia ni ku-waste? Yet any government office, any building has their lights day and night on. So someone also made you feel, I know I have suffered. with low light. Sitaki kuwasha stima, hakuna light enough, pengine kunanyesha, but sitaki kuwasha stima ati juu ni mchana. Naogopa kuwasha stima juu ni mchana. Keyword juu ni mchana, but I can't see anything in the house. Natafuta kitu hata sioni, natafuta kitu sioni, sioni, nachukua simu namulika sioni, na ni mchana, and then kitu anauza, si uko na stima wewe, nini nakusumbua wewe? But it takes so much to get out of that. Okay? There's nothing, so you don't have to be money conscious. You should be comfortable. There's nothing like unnecessary bills. Hakuna unnecessary bill. There's nothing like unnecessary bills. There is enough for everyone. Remember that. There's enough for everyone. There's enough for you. There's so many people who are comfortable with so little. So comfortable with so little. So it's a state of mind. It's your money story. It's your belief around money dictates how money comes to you. Okay? Yeah, to keep the engine moving. Scarcity. So it's created. And once you start creating that mindset of scarcity, remember, what you believe you become. What you think you become. Where attention goes, energy flows. You start believing that you are that. You start having faith, belief, and imagination that you are that thing, that you cannot overcome that thing. So slowly, surely, you become that thing, and you are not supposed to be that thing. So forgive yourselves for the thing you have done. Okay? Be kind to yourself. Show yourself grace for the things that you do to yourself subconsciously without knowing. It's going to be a long weekend. So do enjoy your long weekend. Don't come out of the matrix because you're in the matrix. Push through the matrix. You cannot come out of the matrix because you need business. You do business every day, you need money. You cannot leave the matrix because the politics determine where you are. You cannot leave the matrix because religion runs your country. You cannot leave the matrix because politics govern you. You cannot leave the matrix because entertainment is based on this matrix. So you have to be in the matrix. That is why you are in the 3D. Know that the matrix is there. Now, use, keyword, use the matrix. So there's a difference when the matrix is using you, where you feel like you're getting the short end of the stick. Now change that around and use the matrix. Sasa, I just realized I need to heal scarcity trauma. Jenga, what happened at 3 a.m.? Because sometimes I feel strange things. I don't know. I'm not in your bed at 3 a.m. Fancy, I seems like Ken, what are you saying? I seems like Ken, you are going through something. I'm always going through something. I'm always going through things. I'm not like you. Okay? I'm always going through things. Iweka YouTube. We are all they created to keep the engine moving, scarcity, but okay. So anyway, I have no idea what happens at 3 a.m. when you are feeling strange things. Okay? I have no idea. All you have to know is that understand what that hour is. So before 4 a.m. and 6 a.m., that is Pisces time. So 3 a.m. is Aquarius hour. So enda ufanya your history research on Aquarius. Learn what Aquarius means that hour. Then find out what you are doing in that Aquarius hour, which is 3 a.m. Then maybe you'll find the solution there. Sasa, do have a beautiful day. Shout out to everyone who came. Thank you for their likes, for keeping the algorithm up. Thank you for the for the 5 people who shared the live, and the 44 people watching. Do have a beautiful long weekend. Okay? Forgive yourself for the things that you are going to do when you're on flight or fight mode. Forgive yourself for the things you are going to do for survival, acting on impulse to feel safe. Forgive yourself for the things that are going to happen to you because you don't know boundaries. Most of you are going to jump into cars, or you're going to join your friends to go to Naivasha. And so you'll be dragged into things you are not planned for. But again, it's for validation. And again, I'm not against you for wanting to feel validated, because again, it's how you want to feel important in a world that does not allow you, or allow a world that has not equipped you to understand on how beautiful you are or your capabilities. So it's not your fault also. So practice self-love. Pause every other time that you are feeling like you are going chaotic and hug yourself. Tell yourself that you're okay. Fight or flight. Emotional immaturity. Understand that you're in a world of receiving, and most of your thoughts and feelings are not even yours. You are crafted on how to think, how to feel. Balance. Coco. Coco. So do have a beautiful day. Again, I think I've said enough buys for one day. Do have a beautiful day. Do have a beautiful long weekend. Each one, teach one. I'm back. The band from TikTok, I'm back. Nilikuwa banned, I'm back. I'll always find my way. Mimi, you cannot ban me from any channel. We've been here before, kutoka 2018. I have 5 Facebook pages running. So nishajua kucheza na algorithm. Ni sasa. So hata wakinifungia TikTok, I'll always find my way to come back to TikTok. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So I'm still going to tell the people what to do. I may change how I tell them, but still nitaongea. You know, they have caught up with me and my Mavado and Gaza. Wamejua siongei maneno ya Mavado na Gaza na vitu zingine kama hizo. So, ciao. Dayo.